Have you ever wondered what happens when a giant gaming company takes on a small team of open-source developers? Nintendo just made a move that's sending shockwaves through the gaming community. They've managed to shut down Yuzu, a popular Nintendo Switch emulator. Let's dive into the details and explore what this means for the future of gaming and emulation. Yuzu versus Nintendo. The world of video game emulation has always captured our interest. We've delved deep into emulators for classic consoles, marveling at how these programs revive our favorite games. However, the Yuzu Nintendo Switch emulator stood out. Its advanced features and dedicated community fascinated us. So, when a Nintendo lawsuit abruptly halted the project, we were taken aback. This event sparked a deeper dive into emulation's complexities, leading us to advocate for a serious conversation about digital preservation's future. Nintendo's legal action against the Yuzu emulator project was a significant blow to emulation enthusiasts. The project's developers had worked tirelessly to emulate the Switch's hardware, allowing users to play Switch games on their computers. However, Nintendo, like many game companies, fiercely protects its intellectual property and took legal action to shut down the emulator. The lawsuit. The creators of the Yuzu Nintendo Switch emulator have agreed to pay Nintendo $2.4 million in a settlement with the developer of a game called Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. This comes after a recent lawsuit over the emulator. Both Nintendo and Tropic Haze, the company behind Yuzu, have asked the court for a final decision and a permanent order to stop the emulator's distribution. Yuzu is a free emulator that allows people to play Nintendo Switch games on their computers or phones. It was released in 2018, a few months after the Nintendo Switch was launched. However, Nintendo accused Yuzu of copyright infringement and bypassing the Switch's security measures. They also claimed that Yuzu was being used to play leaked copies of Tears of the Kingdom before its official release date. The settlement is not yet final and depends on the judge's approval. As part of the agreement, Tropic Haze will have to shut down all operations related to Yuzu. This means they can't distribute the emulator or promote it on their website or social media. They also have to give up the Yuzu domain name. In a statement on Discord, Bune, the maker of Yuzu, confirmed that they would be taking everything related to Yuzu offline. This settlement highlights the legal challenges faced by emulator developers and the efforts of companies like Nintendo to protect their intellectual property. How emulators bring console games to your PC. Emulators are like digital translators, decoding the language of console games so your PC can understand them. They're complex software that recreates a console's inner workings on a computer. Take Yuzu, for example. It's an emulator that tackles the Nintendo Switch, a console known for its demanding games, with finesse and accuracy. Yuzu's success lies in its ability to mimic the Switch's hardware and software. It translates the game's code, graphics, and sounds into a format that your PC can run. This translation is no easy feat. Emulators must deal with the differences between console and PC hardware, ensuring that games run smoothly and accurately. The key to Yuzu's accuracy is its attention to detail. It recreates the Switch's graphics and audio systems faithfully, ensuring that games look and sound as they would on the console. This level of precision is essential for providing a seamless gaming experience. Yuzu, a game-changing emulator for Nintendo Switch games. Yuzu revolutionized gaming by offering users more than just the ability to play Switch games on a PC. Its power and open-source nature provided incredible flexibility and opened up new possibilities for gamers and tech enthusiasts alike. For gamers without a Switch, Yuzu offered a tantalizing glimpse into the world of exclusive Switch games. It allowed them to experience titles they might never have been able to play otherwise. This accessibility was a game changer, democratizing gaming and expanding the reach of these beloved games. Moreover, Yuzu's open-source nature meant that users could modify and customize their gaming experience in ways that were previously unimaginable. This included tweaking games with mods, upscaling graphics to higher resolutions, and experimenting with settings to enhance performance or visual quality. These capabilities not only enhanced the gaming experience, but also highlighted the creativity and innovation of the gaming community. The downside of game-changing emulation. Yuzu's rise in popularity and impact eventually led to a confrontation with Nintendo. Nintendo has a long-standing policy against unauthorized use of its intellectual property, making a legal clash with projects like Yuzu almost inevitable. Nintendo's argument is clear. Emulation can harm their sales by enabling people to play games without purchasing them. Essentially, piracy. The issue of piracy is a significant concern for the gaming industry. Projects like Yuzu, while offering exciting possibilities for gamers and tech enthusiasts, also raise questions about the ethical and legal implications of emulation. While some argue that emulation preserves gaming history and allows for greater accessibility to games, others point out that it can lead to lost revenue for developers and publishers. While these projects can offer innovative ways to experience games, they must also navigate the legal and ethical complexities of intellectual property rights. The importance of emulation in preserving gaming history. Emulation plays a vital role in preserving our gaming history by ensuring that older games remain accessible to future generations. Consoles, like all machines, have a limited lifespan, and as they age, they become more difficult to maintain and repair. This can lead to the loss of access to games that are locked behind outdated technology. Emulators offer a solution to this problem by allowing older games to be played on modern hardware. They essentially recreate the functionality of older consoles, enabling games to be played as they were originally intended. This is crucial for preserving gaming history, as it ensures that classic games remain playable long after their original consoles have been discontinued. Moreover, emulation allows for the preservation of games that may have been lost otherwise. As technology advances, older games can become incompatible with newer hardware, making them inaccessible to players. Emulators provide a way to overcome these compatibility issues, ensuring that these games are not lost to history. Additionally, emulation can help keep classic games alive in the absence of support from publishers. Once a game has been discontinued, there may be little incentive for publishers to maintain support for it. Emulators offer a way for players to continue enjoying these games, even after publishers have moved on to other projects. The shutdown of Yuzu, a community's disappointment. As news of Nintendo's lawsuit against the Yuzu emulator spread, the community's sense of dread was palpable. Many hoped for legal resistance, but the reality of battling a corporate giant like Nintendo seemed daunting. The creators of Yuzu were faced with a difficult choice: either engage in a costly legal battle or reach a settlement. Ultimately, the decision to shut down the emulator came swiftly, leaving a void for Switch emulation enthusiasts. The shutdown of Yuzu was met with disappointment and frustration within the community. For many, Yuzu represented more than just a way to play Switch games on a PC. It was a platform for creativity, innovation, and community engagement. The loss of Yuzu meant the loss of a vibrant and supportive community that had grown around the emulator. While Yuzu's closure was a blow to the community, it also served as a stark reminder of the challenges faced by emulation projects. The legal and ethical complexities of emulation are ever present, and the shutdown of Yuzu highlighted the risks involved in creating and maintaining such projects. Nintendo's stance on emulation, protecting their intellectual property. Nintendo's approach to shutting down emulation projects like Yuzu stems from a desire to protect their intellectual property rights. As a game developer and publisher, Nintendo invests significant time, effort, and resources into creating the games enjoyed by millions worldwide. Piracy threatens these efforts by allowing people to access games without paying for them, potentially leading to lost revenue for Nintendo and other developers. While emulators themselves are not illegal, they can facilitate piracy by enabling users to play illegally copied games. This unintended consequence is a major concern for Nintendo and other companies in the gaming industry. Emulators can make pirated games more accessible, which undermines the hard work and creativity of game developers. Nintendo's actions to protect their intellectual property are not unique to them. Many companies in the entertainment industry, including music, film, and software, take similar steps to combat piracy and protect their creations. From a legal standpoint, Nintendo is well within their rights to take action against emulation projects that infringe on their intellectual property rights. The future of emulation. While this setback may drive emulation projects further underground and force enthusiasts to be more cautious, it is unlikely to dampen the desire for emulation. Instead, it may lead to the emergence of new approaches to emulation that are more careful and discreet. There is a clear need for a more constructive dialogue around emulation. Rather than viewing emulation solely as a threat to their intellectual property, companies like Nintendo could explore sanctioned options for emulation as a preservation tool. These options could include strict safeguards against piracy, ensuring that only legitimate copies of games are used with emulators. Such an approach could benefit both companies and consumers. Companies would have more control over how their games are emulated and could potentially generate revenue from the sale of sanctioned emulation software. Consumers, on the other hand, would have access to a wider range of games and could enjoy them on modern hardware, preserving gaming history for future generations. Thanks for watching. What do you think about Nintendo's actions against Yuzu? Do you believe in the importance of preserving gaming history through emulation? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it informative and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest gaming news and discussions.